next door.
Dungeon.
Dick. Pulling it so hard, you rip the skin.
What's up, chat?
Well, my daddy taught me a few things too, like how not to rip the skin by using someone else's mouth.
Will you show me?
I'd be right happy to.
What's up, chat?
Ass. Master. Swallow my cum.
You saw artists on Twitter deleting all their art again.
Don't touch me there.
How many times has this happened now? Well, there's a lot of artists on Twitter, so I recommend you not worry too much about the people who are just like tearing their shit up. You know? That's just something that artists, they have to do regularly. Think about it this way, if you're following like a famous, what do you call it? People who make pots and shit. What's the word for that? I've seen all these Japanese documentaries of like the famous like pot maker stuff who work with ceramics, and their entire yard is just full of pots that they didn't like, and they just like throw them and break them because they're like, nah, it didn't come out right in the kiln.
Existing.
Hanging up.
Ass.
Dick. Semen.
Yes. Bondage. Ass.
I guess in the case of internet artists, the reason that they're deleting their shit isn't just because they don't like it, it's because they're probably like, no, internet drama. That rival VTuber lady said something mean about me. Actually, let's be honest, the number one reason why artists delete all their shit and disappear is because they took on too many commissions and they don't want to have to draw all of them. So they claim they have like, you know, medical grade depression or some shit. And then they have to be like, I'm deleting everything. Goodbye. And people are like, shit, I gave money in advance.
Let's celebrate and suck some dick.
That's probably the number one reason, let's be honest. Or the sick relative, yes. My great aunt is deathly sick, which is why I can't complete your futa furry cock-sucking commission. Please understand. And if you complain, you're a horrible person, not understanding all the mental issues I'm trying to deal with right now. I just feel like artists, I know I take money beforehand as well myself, because in the format of like the commission auction, but I haven't really had any of my customers bail on me and not pay me yet, even if I deliver for them. So I don't think artists need to really worry about not getting paid by their customers, to be honest, unless they're truly dealing with like the shittiest type of people, i.e. furries or something. I'm neurodivergent, take this, that's right. If I have any problems, I just claim I'm on the autism spectrum. It's not my fault. The reverse engineering of the Epstein files has people on Twitter spiraling. I haven't been following this at all. I just thought that they had properly just redacted everything, so... This will be like episode 3, in which now that I'm in Japan and everybody in chat is going to have to start updating me on like everything I'm not paying attention to, because when you're in Japan, you stop giving a shit about this stuff. You really don't care anymore. You just like enter this chill existence where American like stupid fucking political drama doesn't really bother you anymore. Someone in the FBI highlighted the redacted text in black, so so people could just copy the text and read the things that were redacted. LMAO. Wait, so was this like a photo of like black markered paper and they could like adjust the brightness or something, or is it something else? It was one of those things where the FBI doesn't know like how computers can reconstruct redacted text issues, right? You know what? These could be these cute little autobiographical webcomic diaries like that My Lonely Lesbian Mangaka Except a Gaijin Dude from the Midwestern State. Yeah, they could be that. But I don't want to be doing this forever. You run out of things to write about, obviously. But if there is something that I feel is interesting enough to make a short comic manga about it, I might draw it, which is what I'm doing right now. Congrats on making it to Japan. Hope you sold everything for good money. I sold my car for $17,000 and I bought it for like $23,000 or so. Or maybe it was below $23,000. So, and I had it for 5 years. It didn't have many miles on it. So that was probably a pretty good job. Considering the dealership were saying the best I can give you was like $14,000, and I was like, no. Actually, one of the dealership even went as low as $13,000. So that's a good example of don't sell your car to a dealer unless you absolutely have to. Remember that if there's a bunch of people being employed in a location, when you sell something there, you have to pay for all those people's salaries so they can all, you know, buy their stupid shit. So as long as the more you can cut out the middleman, the better. We are retarded in America? Yeah. Can't argue with that one, dog. Trying to figure out what pen I want to use now. Now that I've changed the way I hold it. I said that I was holding my pen in a different way now. Like my pen stylus in a different way now, based on looking at how people were holding their pencils and stuff on YouTube. So that has once again altered like the pen pressure and how I draw and stuff, so now I have to figure out my pen combinations again. You changed it? Yeah, so based on viewing the images of a lot of professional artists, I have come to the conclusion that it doesn't really matter like the grip you need to hold your pen or your pencil, but you should have like almost exactly an inch to maybe an inch and a half between the tip of like your fingers and then like the pencil or the pen stylus or whatever. You want to have maybe about this much. You can go farther back on it, but you probably want to have at least this much. Up until recently, maybe I was having like my fingers all the way up here, so maybe I only had about this much. So I'm like basically tripling the amount of extra space I have. And I've noticed that both gives me more line control, and it really helps with my desire to like redraw lines and try and put too much strength on it. It makes me kind of draw these slow, thoughtful lines. It slows me down a lot, I think. Inch, tip. An inch is all you're gonna get. Do you get the new drawing tablet or took the old one? I have like 4 of the same drawing tablets because I kept on thinking I was breaking them for various reasons. And then when I was coming to Japan, I realized testing them out that none of them were broken. So I have like 4 functioning drawing tablets of the same drawing tablet. So I took 2. Each of them I thought they had broken for like different reasons. And then when I checked them recently, I was like, no, they're not actually broken. What the fuck? How did I make that mistake? So I have a lot of technological redundancy in my infrastructure right now. Angry. I like the Japanese meme. I can't remember if it's Japanese or they have it in America as well, but there's a Japanese meme in which the guy's just like, just a tip, just a tip. Trust me, I'll only put the tip in. And I always wonder, like, if you actually said that to a person in real life, by person I mean female, like, who is actually going to be like, well, okay, if it's just the tip, like, nobody would ever think that. No one would be like, it's only half an inch of penis. It's completely different from the full shaft. I'm learning the overhand grip myself. So some of the stylus things that they tell you for like the grips you need to use are only relevant if you're working in like analog, like actual pencils and stuff, because sometimes when you have like a paper like this, you need to use like the side of the graphite, and that's where this kind of overhand grip is especially important, because then you use the side of the graphite and shit to make marks like this. But if you're working digitally, then you don't really have this like long sharpened pencil like side graphite under any circumstance. So I don't know if the overhand grip is particularly important. I personally use a grip in which I can see my palm at all times. And there's also a switch on my stylus, so it reminds me where to keep my thumb. I adjust. Well, I don't adjust my grip. I make sure that I'm not getting too far up on the stylus, because that's like my natural instinct, by making sure my thumb is like right above the switch. So I'm just being way more, I don't know, thoughtful about how I'm holding shit now. To sing just a tip to taunt the dudes in college. What if my penis is like super thick though? What if the head of my penis is like larger than my fist, and it's actually hardest to fit the tip inside? Typical hentai protagonist problem. Which the head of your penis is too thick to fit. Getting KFC and Christmas cake tonight? No, because I went to a gyudon chain and ate a bunch of curry last night, and I was planning on getting ice cream after that, which is why I walked into the 7-Eleven at the first place. And I realized just by eating like a bunch of white rice, my my diabetes blood sugar levels were absolutely spiking. And I was just like, hey, that ain't good. I don't have diabetes, but you know, this is the road to diabetes. I can feel it. It's weird because I didn't feel that shit back until recently, until I really sort of changed my diet. But now that I've changed my diet, I can feel when my body is getting like unhealthy signals pretty immediately. Curry eating ass? Well, okay, so I went to a hard offer. If you guys know what hard offer is, it's not hard or gay, it's hard offer. It's a secondhand store by the same chain as Book Off, except they sell like hardware. I'll upload the photos of it because they had like a shit ton of gaming PCs and stuff. But I got there and I tried to buy a new cell phone because I have to buy a new cell phone because Verizon has fucking cucked me. But they were like, we're not open yet. So on the way back I was like, okay. And by not open I meant like the store was in place, but they were still in the period in which they were like buying people's stuff. So they're not going to start selling me things to the 26th. So I'm going to wait 2 days and then I'm going to go buy a second monitor so I don't have to put shit on the same screen when I'm streaming and stuff, and then a cell phone. That is the plan. Thank you for sharing photos, but don't dock yourself and all that. I just meant to share the photos of the shelves they have there. Don't worry. I'm not going to be doing a lot of personal trip photos this time around because, you know, I'm living here, so... I thought this was console country. They also were selling a ton of consoles. I was very tempted to buy an N64, but we're not going to do that. It's all about diet and moderation when you get past 35. An easy way to make sure your blood sugar doesn't spike as much is to just start eating the brown versions of your various carbohydrates. And I don't mean that in a racial way, I mean that in the eat brown rice instead of white rice. Eat, you know, whole grain breads instead of white bread. It makes a huge difference. You can feel it. See, I need a second monitor so I can look at reference images while I draw and then also look at the chat. Guys, I'm not racist at all, but I prefer white rice. White rice is, once you get used to brown rice, white rice can taste rather flavorless and just kind of boring, honestly. Brown rice has more flavor and it's better for you. You need to watch what you eat and how much you eat. It's much easier in Japan where the average size portion is just smaller in general. But yeah, when you're over 35, you're in old man zone now. You don't just get to eat whatever the fuck you want anymore. To be honest, brown rice just isn't good. It's good, man. You just need to get used to it. White rice is the one that doesn't have any flavor. They removed all the parts of it that give it taste. It's just like pure starch. It has no personality. The bakeries in Japan are so good, you can't miss out on that. They really are. It's one of the few things I truly miss when I'm away from Japan is all the fucking bread. You wouldn't really think about it that way, but it really is. Japan is bread country. We think it's rice country, but it's actually bread country. It's fucking bread time, bros. Why you gotta say that? It sounds really nice. It is. There's a whole spectrum of different price grades for high quality bread. There's your like cheap bread that you can buy at Konbini, your kashipan. And then you can go to the actual bakeries and get higher quality bread, and that's better. But even the cheap bread is still pretty fucking good. And still pretty bad for you. There's not much places where I can eat out near this current apartment building, but they do have a bakery if I'm willing to walk like 15 minutes to the train station. The other day I had to go to the office, the local government office, to register my shit. So I was like, I'll go buy some stuff at the bakery on the way home. I'll buy a bunch of pieces of bread for tomorrow, and I bought like 1,000 plus yen of bread, and it was like 4 pieces, and I'll just be like, I was like, I'll just eat a little bit on the way back, and I ate like 3 out of the 4 pieces, which is probably like, you know, 1,300 calories worth of carbs. I was like, shit, this is not good for me. Japanese culture just cares about food a lot. They don't fuck around with that stuff. They're not gonna half-ass it. Whatever version of food you get, it's something that people spend a lot of time thinking about and caring about. Our bakeries in America are all grease-filled dog shit. You have to be willing to spend on like the butter and stuff, or else it isn't very good. If you want like hard rye bread and stuff though, that's kind of hard to find in Japan. That's one of the major drawbacks in Japanese bread store bakery shit, is that it's definitely like, you know, they have like their specific repertoire. You can get your ampan and karepan and various French breads and stuff, but if you want like a hard loaf of black bread, you can't really get it very often. You have to go to like very specific bakeries. I like my bread like I like my men. Big, black, hard, bitter and sour. Are you gonna catch any sumo matches? Well, we don't have any till January. I haven't signed up for TV because I know I don't have time to be watching it. I'm probably just going to be watching the internet anyway, so when my cousin asked me whether I wanted any TV, I was like, nah, we're good. We ain't doing that. So I'll be watching it on the internet, I guess. Now that we have that Ukrainian guy and Ozeki, we finally have a white man to root for. Although it's questionable whether we want to actually call Slavs white, but you know. Make sure to draw yourself as Nicolas Cage if you draw face shots. I'm not particularly worried that someone's going to recognize me based on my manga portrayal of myself. If they do, then that's that. I won't worry too much about it. As a Slav, I don't fucking care. It's stupid. Are Ukrainians Slavs or not? That's question one. Are Slavs white or not is a separate question, but I don't know if Ukrainians are Slavs or not. He's in Japan, guys. I think he will be okay. Maybe. People always say I look Asian. There's also a quote-unquote Russian sumo wrestler, but he's like 100% Mongolian looking because he's part of the far eastern corners of the Russian Empire that are just like the, you know, ex-Asian tribes or whatever. Feel like America and Western Europe care more about racial designations. I've never seen an Eastern European waste their time. Eastern Europeans are more busy trying to figure out how to distill vodka from shoe polish so they can poison themselves. They don't have time to worry about menial racial issues. They have higher priorities. American racial designations seem weird by any European standard. America has a extremely complicated racial designation system, specifically because America spent a lot of time giving nice shit to the white people. So then when other racial groups would come in and be like, actually, I am white, they would have to pass new laws specifically to be like, no, actually, you're not white. So that goes for stuff like the one-drop rule for black people, because even from an earlier stage, most black people were partially white because all the slave masters, you know, wanted to have sex with their slaves, of course. Even if you're like a white supremacist who's like black people are subhuman, as soon as you see something that is vaguely female looking and you're a man, you're gonna immediately stick your penis inside it. So obviously all the slaves were race mixed at an early stage, so they had to make sure that it's like, no, just because you're half white, it's more important that you're half black. But then like at later stages, when like there was immigration of say Indians and stuff, the Indians tried to claim that they were technically white because they were Aryan. And then there's an actual like courts had to legally pass laws being like, no, Indians are not white. You don't get all the white benefits, Indians. We don't care if you're Aryan. You don't count as being white. One-drop rule is crazy work, and now in modern society we are left with questions like, is Blake Griffin white or not, etc. Blake Griffin is a masterpiece of a human, and that's all that matters. Blake Griffin could have been a superstar. Well, he was a superstar, but he could have had an extremely successful career as if he had not been drafted by the Clippers, but unfortunately that did not happen. Anybody who gets touched by Clipperland is just cursed to have a horrible life. It's a real shame. Fuck the Clippers, especially because they treated CP3 like shit. Clip's gonna clip, boys. Although I'm pretty sure CP3 drives everybody crazy after like a few months, so this is just the usual CP3 cycle. It's always like, oh man, Chris Paul's leadership is great. And then like by month 8, you're like, oh god, shut the fuck up, Chris Paul. I'm sorry I didn't set that pick perfectly. Holy shit, you're so annoying. Oh fuck. If it's a particularly responsive young team that's trying to get better, they might last more than a year, but now that he isn't as good as he used to be because he's old as fuck, or he's basically on his way out, the leash for his antics is much shorter. Clips have to worry about a lot of other things besides Chris Paul, like, you know, paying Kawhi under the table. Honestly, I wish the NBA would just allow Steve Ballmer to use the full power of his, like, $100 billion wealth. It's actually more than that. It's, like, close to 200 billion or something. And see if he was allowed to, like, buy everything up without, like, salary cap, whether the Clippers could win. Because I have a suspicion that even if he was allowed to, like, pay everybody everything, they would still lose. I think they're that cursed. Like, there's no NBA version of Ohtani walking through the door for Clippers. Ore SF, short for Ore no Small Forward wa Konnani Kawaii Wake ga Nai, is a Japanese light novel series written by Masai Ujiri with illustrations by Nick Nurse. It focuses on Kyle, a normal point guard, and his relationship with his coup d'etat expiring contract superstar. Honestly, Kyle is the one with the giant fat ass that Western audiences would respond to. Have you seen how big Kyle Lowry's ass is? It's fucking massive. BB get his KFC bucket. I considered buying Christmas cake and the KFC stuff. They were selling it outside the convenience stores, including the one that I went into. There was a Lawson that had where they were selling Christmas cake outside the store, and at the 7-Eleven they were also selling that stuff inside the store. But I figured because I had eaten a giant bowl of kare, I shouldn't get any more extra calories inside me. MERII KURISUMASU, yeah. We're Merry Christmasing over here, bitches. Let's go! I'm gonna go to the onsen today. There's an onsen really close to my apartment. It's like an onsen bathhouse. Not like one of those fancy hotels, but like a sento, but it has like, it's like an onsen. As usual, hot springs everywhere, so they were closed on Tuesday and Wednesday, but now they're open. One of the good things about Japan is that nothing is closed on Christmas. Like, they celebrate Christmas with their fried chicken and girls in the Santa suits, but like everything's open just normally. Christmas is really just a time in which you buy cake on the way home from work, and then if you have a young girlfriend, you go to the Love Hotel to have baby making sex. That's it. It's pretty awesome. Unfortunately, Oshogatsu, which is the New Year's, everything's going to be closed soon, so I have to make sure I stockpile up on food. Or else I'm going to be fucked. Where's my Half-Life 3 Santa? Never ever. I mean, I'm not even sure if Valve even has the ability to make Half-Life 3 at this point. Like, what would it even look like? Made Half-Life Alyx, and that was pretty good. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a fuck about Half-Life. I never thought it was good in the first place. I was never impressed. I always thought it was just a first-person shooter. The only first-person shooter that truly impressed me was Modern Warfare when it first came out. Half-Life, Halo, even stuff like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, I never was too impressed by. I enjoyed it, but I was never like, oh, this will change the face of gaming, like so many people are when it comes to Half-Life. This is such a monumental accomplishment. I was just like, yeah, whatever. Half-Life 2 is kind of a tech demo, but the original Half-Life is really fun to play. Half-Life 2 is definitely a tech demo. Mama not let BB spend the 90s and 2000s playing Counter-Strike? No, we didn't have a real PC, and my mother was adamantly against me enjoying and playing video games, so any video games I was able to obtain as a child, I had to fight tooth and nail for, often in the form of getting to play them on the weekend when my father would allow me to be over in his house on the weekend. And my mother was like unhappy that my father got to be the fun parent and she had to be like the business parent. I was just like, Mom, just let me play video games. Like, I don't know what to say. I want to play video games. You won't let me play video games, so. And all of her strong stance against video games amounted to nothing because as soon as I had my own money, I used it to play video games, so. If your kid wants something, it's really kind of meaningless to try and ban it from them because eventually they're going to grow up and be able to just buy it on their own. That's why when my child asks for crack cocaine, I'm going to be like, okay, son, you go and get it from the dealer yourself. There's nothing I can do to stop you. grow up, you'll be able to buy all the crack you want anyways, so I may as well provide it to you for free. Great fucking series before the retards at 343 ruined everything. Here's the thing though, it's not like 343 could have made a good Halo, but they just chose to ruin it, although there were a lot of, you know, decisions where it kind of felt that way. They weren't the team that made Halo in the first place. They never had the ability to continue making good Halo games in the first place. It was doomed from the start. It's not like there's like an alternate timeline in which Bungie stops making Halo and then Halo just continues to be good forever. We got all the good Halo games that we were going to get in the first place, and then Bungie was like, we don't want to make Halo anymore, this is boring, doing the same thing forever. It would be like if one day Shonen Jump drives up to my door and they ask me to like draw Yu-Gi-Oh! Part 2. And they offer me $1 trillion, and I'm like, well, okay. And then people are like, why does Yu-Gi-Oh! Part 2 suck so bad? If that stupid author, BaalBud, would just take his shit seriously and honor the original work, Yu-Gi-Oh! Part 2 would be good. It's like, no, actually Yu-Gi-Oh! Part 2 is always gonna suck because the person that this giant fucking corporation hired to, you know, continue this isn't capable of making Yu-Gi-Oh! Part 2. There wasn't any alternate version in which it was going to be good. It was always going to be shit. It's not like I'm choosing to make it shit, I just don't have the ability to make it good. You're being really fair here? I'm not being fair, I'm being realistic. The thing is that, like, a lot of the stuff that we attribute to DEI is just, like, part of, like, the secondary issue. The bigger issue is that making something is really, really difficult. And a lot of the things that, where we're like, man, this got really bad, our favorite franchise got really bad, it's just that the people that were tasked to carry on something that somebody else had made at a different time just aren't talented enough to get it done. In fact, it's even hard if the original creator is still in charge of that shit. Sometimes stuff is just a spark in the bottle and the original creator can't, like, you know, summon that energy again. I.e. Kishimoto shitting out Samurai 8 after he did Naruto. .343 just wasn't the team for the job, DEI or not. Yeah, man, it's just... money can't buy everything. In fact, there's more things money can't buy than things money can buy. People who have a lot of money forget this frequently. One of these things is talent when there's only a limited amount of talent. Like, sometimes it can buy money, but you can buy it with money, but, you know, if, like, there's only one LeBron on the planet, right? And if LeBron wants to go to LA, it doesn't matter if, you know, Toronto is offering a max contract. It's the same thing for video games. Like, I'm sure Microsoft was offering very nice salaries, but whatever team that they were able to put together for 343 is clearly doesn't have the talent that Bungie has, so... Artists and developers always get the short end of the stick in the game development. Yeah, that is true in that even if the developers are good as well, there's plenty of shitty manager decisions that can fuck everything up. Are you still in Japan? I'm still in Japan, and I'm going to be in Japan for quite a while. Because my mother kicked me out of the house because she wants to renovate. So there's nowhere to go back to. Although the construction hasn't started yet, so if I had to go back, I guess I could go back to. But the point is for me to be out of the house. And my mother is going to have to leave the house, at least in terms of leaving the second floor as well, so... Nihongo de shitei shimasu. Merikuri, merikuri desu. Nihon wa Kurisumasu ga キャジュアルでいいですね。もうフライドチキンとケーキとサンタコースしかなくって、アメリカはもっといろいろ買わせてようとするから、なんか、なんていうんですかね、資本主義のがっつき具合が全然違うっていうか、日本って大体その買うものが決まってるから、買うものの量が少ないんですよね。その家族全員にみんなクリスマスプレゼント買わなきゃいけないとか、そういう感覚が薄くって KFC 食べてます？食べない。フライドチキン食べない。I feel like fried chicken, if something is good enough to be eaten on a specific day of the year, it's good enough to be eaten on other days of the year as well. And fried chicken is tasty whenever, so why limit ourselves? Does this mean you'll die in the summer or you got AC where you're at? If I didn't have AC, I would literally die. That's not like hyperbole. In Japan, if you don't have air conditioning, most locations in Japan, you will die. Sometimes old geezers who grew up in the Showa era without air conditioning are like, I'm fine without air conditioning. But that's just because their ability to detect that their body heat is getting fucked up has declined, so they don't notice that they're dying from heat stroke, and then they just die. So my plan is actually to move maybe in March and April away from this Kansai location to like Nagano, or there's some locations in Chiba that are much cooler because of like the ocean currents or something. But yeah, I'm not gonna stay here forever. Is my plan, I guess. At some point, we're gonna move to a cooler location, whether it's high altitude. The problem is that a lot of the higher altitude locations are also like bear country. I'm worried that if I'm jogging outside in bear country, a bear is gonna eat my face. So I'm not going to Hokkaido, I guess. Music might be a bit loud. It might have been turned up by mistake. No, it's just the type of music, I guess. Interesting. bears sound like an opportunity for stamina training. When I see the combination of women and commentary on bears, all I can think about now is in the past when there was like the feminist article about women, if they had an opportunity to choose between a man and a bear in a forest or something, they would choose to go with the bear because they know that the man 100% is going to murder them, but the bear might or might not murder them. And then all the men reading this was like, this is so fucking stupid. Women are such victim complex psychos. And women are like, no, you just don't understand the victimhood that women suffer from. And then like a year and a half later, we get all this romantic fantasy content in which women are having sex with minotaurs. And every single one of the comments was like, oh, that's what the women meant when they said they were going to choose the bear. Oh no, bear-san, get away from there. Don't let the female near you. A bear because nobody would get mad at me if I cooked and ate it? That's where you're wrong. Part of the reason why Japan has a bear problem is because there's all these like PETA adjacent, not like actual PETA, but like similar energy people who are like, think about the bears, you can't just kill them. So it ain't that simple. They would just let the hunters do their job. The problem wouldn't be that bad, but pretty sure this song is called Dearly Beloved. Sounds off though. Well, they have to like distort it and shit so they don't get copyright striked. It has to be like a reimagining of whatever video game song. Ohayou gozaimasu. Oh my god, more Japanese viewers. It's hard to tell if they're actual Japanese viewers or weebs who are in their 4th year of Japanese at their local university who are being attracted to this channel because I am living the weeb dream of going to Japan and becoming a samurai. True Japanese samurai folded in convenience store over 5,000 times. I have to draw the Nikuman counter. That's the good thing about Japanese winter is that you go to the convenience store and there's the Nikuman. There's always Nikuman. dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. What was this from? I can't remember.レジ見ると夜勤の頃思い出す。やっぱりこういうストリーム来る人はコンビニ夜勤の経験があるタイプの人間なんだろうなってのは思う。自分もこう漫画とかで食えなくなったら、てかまあ別にそんな食えてないんだけど、多分コンビニの夜勤とかやると思うわ。It is mild there except Tohoku. Nihon speak Monka Esu. This is bilingual stream, bitch. You need to learn your Japanese folded 5,000 times just like me. I guess I should draw the Denshi Reji as well, but it takes up too much space. I wanna... I guess I can just draw like this. I hadn't been in Japan in like, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, and I went to a convenience store and suddenly they had these electronic registers where you had to like put your coins in, and I looked like such a fucking like absolute troglodyte who had come out from the jungle because I couldn't figure out where to put my coins in, and I didn't understand that I wasn't supposed to be giving my money directly to the person working there and stuff. Yeah, it's all automated. I went to Hado Ofu yesterday, but I hadn't been eating out at all, so I was like, I'm gonna try eating out because there's no restaurants in my area. So I went to Komeda Kohi, which is a kissaten coffee shop that's famous for having like super large portions. So I was like, I'm gonna order something here, but despite it being famous, having lots of really big portions and stuff, it still wasn't that much. So I just ordered a salad instead. And then there was a sukiya right next to it. And I was like, okay, I've never been to sukiya in my life, which is one of the large gyudon chains. So I went there and I had a large omori kare, beef kare. And that's when I was like, holy shit, I can feel my blood sugar spiking. This is really bad for me. The reason I went to 7-Eleven because I wanted to get some ice cream after eating curry, but I could feel my blood sugar spiking so hard. I was like, oh, I really just shouldn't eat anything extra. This is legitimately bad for me. I went to Japan for the first time this year, needed help with those machines too. I felt like such an idiot gaijin tourist. Oh, I went to Komeda Kohi and I tried to pay for my stuff after I had eaten my salad, and they were like, do you have the receipt? And I was like, oh shit, they brought the receipt to my table, fuck. Luckily I hadn't thrown it away or anything. That would have made me even look dumber, but I forgot the system of they bring you the receipt to your chair, and then you have to keep your receipt and bring it to the cash register. Have you bought a vending machine pizza? No. I'm not really that, like, attached to pizza as much as you might think. It's not one of the things I miss a lot in my life when I leave pizza country, especially not American-style pizza. There's more good, like, Neapolitan-style pizza in Japan, so I might to go to one of those places eventually, but...ピザの自販機あるんだ、あるらしい。なんか動画とかで日本ってこんなすごいんだよみたいな動画ではなんかピザの自販機みたいな、なんかピザを焼いてくれる自販機みたいなのがよく出てくるけど、実際にはそんなたまにしか見たことないよね。というか動画の中でしか見たことないよね。実物は見たことない。I'm reminded of all the vending machines everywhere. I'm sad. The time when you're really glad for vending machines is in the summer, because you're like about to die from fucking heat stroke, and just like having one vending machine in which you can just buy like a sports drink or a Coca-Cola or something like that, it's so helpful. You're just like, oh, thank God that's available. Yakuyo? Nanka. I think if you look it up on YouTube and you're just like pizza vending machine, you're like pizza vending machine Japan. See this stuff. Pizza Self. 1,000 yen. You can watch the video of it. It looks decent, honestly. It's small though. This is such Japanese size. It's like the size of his hand. Look how fucking tiny that shit is. You could just like palm that shit with your one hand. As an American, how can I be satisfied if the pizza isn't like 5 times my face? Look at that. It's fucking tiny. That ain't enough. It looks okay, but... Approximately 600 calories. Only 1/20th of the American calorie intake required in a day. It's barely even a snack. It was cool coming back to my unwalkable city with no vending machines. America is a country where you can't actually have vending machines, because if there is vending machines, people will try and break it open and pull the shit out from inside. Costco pizza slice is almost 2,000 calories. Yes. What makes Americans strong and powerful. Honestly, I feel like Costco, it's not necessarily overrated, but I'm not gonna freak out over it like some people do. It's just that there's like so much even like halfway decent shit in America that like even having something that's, you know, not a horrible corporation trying to fuck you over is like considered to be a huge breath of fresh air, you know? Japanese Costco slaps. I have never been to Japanese Costco. I think you need a car to get there. Because they're like massive bulky stores, so you can't just like walk there usually, I think. I think Mexican Costco still has the churros. US Costco swapped them for big chocolate chunk cookies. I wonder which is worse for you. It'll be a sad day when Mexico takes the American crown for the most diabetic country. If there's one thing that America must never lose at, it's being overweight and unhealthy, but Mexico is on its way to, you know, defeat us. We have to increase our intake of United States brand Coca-Cola with its delicious pure corn syrup instead of the evil Mexican Coca-Cola that uses actual sugar. They're already pretty close, I know, right? We must not give up, Americans. Don't let Mexico win. They can afford their insulin. That's another thing. I'll finally have healthcare. Healthcare in which I can actually go to a doctor. Mexico already has more child obesity. That's promising. As long as the children don't die out before they become obese adults, then in the future America will be able to defeat America and its obesity rates. Where have you gone? Something done. I'm a shapeshifter. Blah blah blah. I never finished Persona 5 or Dragon Quest 11. And I left my PS5 in America, so I think I missed my opportunity. We need to make the whole world more fatter with more international McDonald's. I haven't been to Japanese McDonald's yet. Japanese McDonald's is 100% the same as American McDonald's though. KFC is very different, but McDonald's is basically the same. Gotta finish Persona 5. The end is the best part. I don't know, man. I just don't like the Persona 5 characters. I don't like hanging out with them the way I enjoyed hanging out with Persona 4 characters. I didn't particularly like the Persona 3 characters that much either. I kind of had to force myself to finish the game. The characters I like were the Persona 2 characters. The real improvement in American fast food is Starbucks. Japan is Starbucks country. All the other kisaten coffee shops in Japan are places where, like, tired old salarymen go to get to smoke, or at least they used to. I don't think they get to anymore, even in kisaten, but if you are a fashionable young girl in Japan, you are mandatory required to go to Starbucks and order your Japanese matcha, soy latte, caramel macchiato, frappuccino, ume, sakura themed, spring colored, limited edition, sweet potato, sugar confectionery, hot drink. And then you have to take photos of it and upload it to Instagram, Instabuy. I cry thinking of the sweet potato frappuccino. It was so good. I didn't even know there was a sweet potato frappuccino. I was just assuming there was, because it's 100% the type of shit that Japan would make. If you ignore Japan for like 5 seconds, they make some sort of sweet potato themed thing. That, or like sakura or matcha themed thing. They don't have truly wholesome American inventions like pumpkin spice. Actually, they might. I don't even know at this point. I stay like 300 yards away from Starbucks because my wallet can't afford it, and also it's just drinking sugar, so... Also, I can't handle caffeine. There's nothing involved in Starbucks that my body can handle at this point, now that I'm 40. Are these Zoomer drinks? No, I think they're more millennial drinks, honestly. Folder. Nothing? Sometimes I create like a file in a layer where I have absolutely nothing on it, and I was like, was I planning to draw something on this? I can't remember. スタバの飲み物は二郎ラーメンと同じカロリーって聞いたことがある。ファッショナブルな女子の二郎ラーメン。それがスタバ。そして飲んでる方は自分がどれだけカロリー消費してるか、消費してないのか、カロリー摂取してるのか、いまいち気づかない分、なんか逆に立ちが悪い。二郎食ってるやつはもう自分がその豚の餌を摂取してることに感じてプライドを持って食べてるけど、ファッショナブルな女子はね、そういうの全然考えてないけど、その割には太ってないのがすごいよね、日本の女子。You don't sound obese, BB Senpai. No, I'm thin and physically fit. But I went to the Japanese Kenko Shindan thing it's called health inspection called Ningen Doku. And this was like a year and a few months ago. And I forgot what number it was, but it was supposed to be like below 100, and it was just slightly over 100. And the doctor was just like, "You're fat." And I was like, "Oh shit." By American standards, I would be 100% be considered healthy, but by Japanese standards, the doctor was just like straight up like, "You're fucking fat, you fucking fat ass." I was like, "Oh no." Uh-oh. By the way, you may need to move off Twitter now. Elon added edit image with AI feature to every image. Isn't that just you edit your own image with AI? Are you just saying because like Twitter is going to become an unusable hellhole because it's just going to be dumbasses lying about everything all the time? It was already that way though. Honestly, I don't see any huge difference. It would be nice if Japanese artists would find a different platform for everyone to move to besides Twitter, because that's where I would go. I would follow them there, but Twitter has fallen. It was it was pretty low in the first place. They tried with Pillow Fort and Blue Sky. They sure did. Well, I don't know if the Japanese artists tried. Like, all the leftists tried to move to Blue Sky. Well, that's not the same. I actually think I need to do a rough draft for this before I start putting in. It would be good if I could just draw without ever doing rough drafts. That would make a lot of shit. I think I need to do like some amount of like this stuff and add like gray lines a little bit. I think it's just faster that way if I just do this process just a little bit and find the shapes I'm looking for before I try and go put in the lines. It only takes like 30 seconds, so it's like the whole measure twice, draw once kind of mentality. I only use Twitter for porn and memes anyway. I've entirely switched my porn engine to Pixiv. Pixiv is just a really good place for getting a shit ton of porn. Because they have that really helpful, just like everybody you follow, their updates. It's way better than like the Twitter timeline in terms of usability. It's just a really good, concise stream of pornography into my brain, Pixiv. Shit, I'm so hungry right now. I want to eat shokupan, but I didn't buy shokupan specifically because I know it's not good for me. I'm trying not to buy things that are bad for me. Like, I'm not going to stop eating things that are bad for me in general, but I'm at least trying to not have them in my house as step one. least make it so I have to go outside before I get it, you know? Order some KFC. I'm thinking of buying an expired Christmas cake, even though that's obviously bad for me, just for like the experience. Then I could make the whole joke about 25-year-old, 26-year-old woman being Christmas cakey. Bucket of miso and dried seaweed. I did buy my miso, actually. Miso is good for you. You can also use it for like a lot of different things like stir fry and shit. There is mayonnaise left in the refrigerator, so miso and mayonnaise tends to go together very well. I need to buy vinegar, actually. There's no vinegar in the house. Vinegar and olive oil. If you have... For Japanese cooking, if you have miso, soy sauce, and vinegar, and then I guess sake, that's like meeting and... It's like sashi suse so. There's a whole like alphabet thing for it. It's sa, shi, su, se, so. Not to be confused with rarirurero. That would be Metal Gear Solid. Sa, sato, sugar, shi, shio, salt, su is just su, vinegar, se is they're pushing it. Show you, zyo you. And then salt is miso, I think, right? I think this was correct. Yeah, sashi suse so. This is all your stuff. And you're supposed to use it in this order in terms of when you start seasoning your food. For example, if you're gonna like make a vinegar or Rainbow is getting really loud. Let's do some jazz here. So if you want to marinate something, you put in the sugar on first, and then you put it in the vinegar, for example. Ichimi togarashi. There is some ichimi togarashi in the refrigerator as well, but I think I look like Phoenix Wright in what was it? The fourth? The Hobo Phoenix Wright. Now that I'm wearing this hat. The hat's doing all the work, of course. Let's put some randomness. Oh, I do have randomness in it. Interesting. Ketchup? ケチャップはあんまり使わないかな。卵焼きとかケチャップあんまつけない派。I feel like Japan is way more, we're just gonna put ketchup on everything. They're okay with that than like America. It's definitely more than Italy, where you're supposed to have like proper tomato sauce. male convenience workers also have to dress up? LMAO. I was actually thinking about that. I went into other convenience stores to see if there were any male convenience workers and whether they were being asked to dress up or not, but I wasn't able to find any. Speaking of low-income workers, the Komeda Kohi I went to had two, I'm guessing they were Indonesian, but they were Southeast Asian workers that they could both use Japanese, and they were both young and physically attractive and well trained. And then I went into Sukiya right after that to eat the curry, and the foreign worker there was also Southeast Asian, and I think he was Indian, and he was like a massive chud and was like overweight, and he couldn't speak Japanese properly and was kind of mumbling and shit. And I was like, holy shit, the quality of the workers that they were able to attract is massively different between Komeda Kohi and Sukiya. Is this the power of going to a gyudon restaurant? I thought it was extremely funny. I'm pretty sure the Sukiya guy was Indian or maybe Pakistani, and the Komeda Kohi people were Indonesian or maybe Filipino. But it was just like, ah shit, the type of people who are gonna come to work in the gyudon restaurant, he's just like me for real. He was like, I cannot speak. It was like the Sukiya guy both didn't know Japanese very well, but also he had problems speaking to people. Japanese Kagome ketchup isn't as sweet, but I still detest it. I don't know, I feel like ketchup is a very powerful tool, and you have to be careful how you're going to use it. If you don't use it correctly, then it can be very overpowering. I don't really feel like Japan is being overrun by immigrants that much, but there's definitely more than there used to be. I'll give you that much. In fact, cute women like these in Japan won't cosplay because she's going on date. I was in the convenience yesterday, and the convenience store workers were wearing these, and I was like, shit. They were able to convince these women to wear this, I guess. Even though they're probably getting paid minimum wage. Maybe my standards for kawaii onnanoko is much lower now that I'm in Japan. 誰でも可愛い。アメリカの体型になれると日本の女がもう全員美人に見える。As long as she is not morbidly obese, yeah. The thing is, the line for being obese is much lower than Americans realize. Americans being like, I'm just a little curvy, and it's like, no, you're actually obese. There are significant health risks for the weight you're at right now. You have to lose weight immediately. They're like, no, this is perfectly normal. It's like, no, it's not. Just because it's easy to convince yourself that you're not, like, incredibly fucked up and you're perfectly normal when everybody around you is also fat. I feel like it's hard to be fat living in Japan. I mean, besides the portions being smaller, I also don't have any like bicycle and stuff. And the train station that I walked to was like, it's like 25 minutes away, walking briskly. So back and forth, I probably burned like 500 calories just by getting to the train station. And then I'm also going up and down the stairs in the train station, and then walking to the Hado Ofu that I went to and all that stuff. So just that alone, just like getting to the place I got to alone, I probably burned at least like 800 calories yesterday. And that's not even counting the jogging and stuff I was doing. Whereas in America, you just get in your Ford F-150 and just drive there, so it's just a fundamentally different environment. I wish there was a kombini closer to me, honestly. There is a Daiei, though. There's a really close Daiei that I can go to. And Daiei has a ton of shit. Walking at least 7 to 10 miles a day, not counting exercise, yeah. It's not that hard once you get used to it, honestly. It just becomes normal. It's impressive how little Japanese women eat, yeah. Japanese women have all taken the shoujo manga pill, where you have to be like stick. Here's a challenge. Try like opening a shoujo manga and find a female character that is like larger than a size 3 or has like significant boobs or ass. It's literally impossible. Same thing for the guys as well, of course, but especially the girls. If you aren't full stick mode. Stick with K-cups? No, that's porn. They do not have K-cups in shoujo manga. In fact, they're usually pretty fucking flat. Plus size elf comes to mind. Do you dumbass motherfuckers understand what shoujo manga means? Sometimes I'm just like shocked at how retarded my chat is. guys aren't weebs at all. Deathstriker, please explain to these dumbasses what shoujo manga is. Holy fuck. 日本の女性たち話すときと食べるときで口を付け加えてるからね。まあね。Kiss him, not me, technically, but the fat chick is a joke. We can try actually looking for it. English. Shoujo. Shoujo manga with busty characters. The closest you get is women who are supposedly fat. This is what I'm talking about. Or, you see that here, boys? Women, if you're not achieving this, this body type, you are a failure. Men as well. Men are allowed an extra half an inch of thigh thickness over the women, but you must be equally thin. Look at that. Very impressive. Eating disorder sized. If you're just walking around in Tokyo, you'll see with a woman with an eating disorder every like 5 to 10 minutes. I want to be able to withstand a light breeze. Instead, you have to go take the Baki pill and have thighs the size of tree trunks. It's the only way. The Nana characters are meant to imitate fashion illustrations, yes. And it's not just like fashion. You see that type of like super stick body type in general. Anything that's being sold to women, they'll use that kind of body type. Meanwhile, if you look at like corporate Memphis style, look at this body type of the Western, when they sell stuff to Western characters, Western consumers. Look at this shit. Look at the thickness. This is somewhat thinner, but like the body is still thick as hell. It's like, are we thick enough, boys? It's like 5 times the thickness of Nana. At least this person's slightly thinner. This is exactly this one. These arms. The arms are just like massive, like fucking logs. The power. Extremely powerful. They're all modeled after Hassan. How is Hassan doing, guys? Has he recovered from his dog electrocution incident? Or has his viewership left him permanently because they were disappointed in his morals? I'm asking this sarcastically. I know he's doing fine. The haters finally got one thing to hate, wasn't real, and will not let it down. Are you the one guy who believed that he wasn't a shock collar because like every other person in chat has basically decided that it was a shock collar? The shock collar memes were high-key funny though. Yes, they were definitely funny. I like how now that whenever anybody else is playing a video game that involves like electric attacks on Twitch, everybody is going to be like, Hassan, no! Kaya! What was the dog's name? Was it Kaya or something? Some Japanese name. Kaya, get down! Hassan, please! Please don't shock your dog again! He's still butthurt that China randos know Asmongold and not him. Why is Asmongold the voice of a specific type of internet chud? All he does is say, like, that's so right. Yeah, oh my god. He also went to Japan to meet their communist party, LMAO. Which is crazy to think there's more than 2 official communists in Japan. Japan has a communist party, they just never win any seats. It's more alive than the communists in America, at least. The thing is, Japan doesn't really need a communist party because it has properly functioning social safety nets, and, you know, the government is functioning even without communism. It's not like in America when we're like, we should have a somewhat functioning healthcare network, and people are like, that's communist! Like, everything that Americans would consider to be communist, Japan already has, so the Communist Party doesn't need to exist, honestly. All the social services that you would hope the state would provide or is already being provided. He's white, balding, and a 99 IQ, the perfect representation. He also drinks gamer drinks all day long. And by gamer drinks we mean like Dr. Pepper, I guess. Americans let Reagan cuck us and we're still paying for it. The problem is Americans don't know that we let Reagan cuck them. Or at least enough of the voting population don't know that we let Reagan cuck us. So no social corrections will ever happen, ever. The beginning of the fall of the USA, 80s. Haven't you seen corporate profits? America hasn't fallen at all. It's just become awful for normal human beings, but that's not what America is for. We must think about who truly matters in the world. The corporate shareholders. GDP, that's right, boys. Haven't you seen our GDP? It's higher than ever. Ignore the part in which Nvidia is investing in the companies that are buying chips from them who are also investing in the AI software companies that are going to use the chips, who are also investing in NVIDIA. There's no way our GDP is in any way fake at all. The system is perfect. The US has around 700 billionaires. That's truly insane. We shouldn't even have 1 billionaire, much less 100, much less 700. The only billionaire I'm willing to allow to exist is Steve Ballmer, but I will make it so that he's legally forced to spend all of his money on the Clippers. And I know that all of that money will disappear as long as he's spending it on the Clippers and will never amount to anything. So everybody else has to get taxed into oblivion. Only 1 billionaire. Here's the thing, man. Even if I wanted to be rich, like, what the fuck would you even do with $1 billion? Have you guys even thought about how much money $1 billion is? It's 1,000 million dollars. I don't even have close to $1 million, and I already have everything I want in life. There's nothing else I can buy. If anything, I'm trying really hard not to buy stuff and not to have more shit. I love luxury. I mean, the truth is, even if you have more money, the amount of increase in the quality of your life, besides like being able to afford healthcare, I guess, is just minuscule. Like, the difference between driving a Toyota and driving a Lexus is basically, those two things are indistinguishable. Like, the Lexus might be slightly nicer, but you're not actually going to feel that on a daily basis. What else are you going to fucking use money on? Seriously. I'll be real, for day-to-day stuff. If your rent's somehow still cheap, you'll be able to live the same lifestyle as a billionaire. They don't really grow better food for billionaires. You can buy slightly more expensive organic food and hopefully reduce the chance of getting cancer from pesticides a little bit, but that's about it. And it's only like about a 20% higher cost at this point. Organic food is getting pretty cheap, so go to a Mexican restaurant and ask for queso tacos. You could maybe buy 1 or 2 RAM sticks with only $1 million, perhaps. Why do you guys need RAM so much anyways? Video games are basically maxed out as well. There isn't any, like, Crysis 6 for you to run with your cool PC, bro. Every game is just poorly unoptimized shit. RAM is so nice. I went from 8 gigabytes to 32 gigabytes, and I can have so many tabs open. I have 16 gigabytes, and it's more than enough. You just need to get into the habit of, like, closing applications once in a while. need to run 40 streaming porn videos at once. Video games are very fun. Yes, I must play Crisis 6 at 200 frames per second while I also goon to porn on a separate monitor. It's the only way I can achieve full engagement of my brain and penis. I have 32 and I could use a bit more. I'm thinking 128. 128 is just a much nicer exponential of 2. Do you have to double from 128, or would you just go, or can you go like 128 plus 64 or something? I don't understand how adding like sticks of RAM works. Do you have to get like, just like double? Does it have to go 8, 16, 32, 64? Or is there like numbers in between? Can someone explain how this shit works? Technically you don't need to, but it's more stable. Yeah, if I'm getting into PC gaming, I'm definitely just buying a pre-built. I don't care if it's like bad for my money. There's no way I can figure out PC architecture well enough to properly snap shit in place. Everyone being like, no, it's just like Legos. It's just like Legos. I've seen like 1 or 2 PC building videos. In every single one of the PC building videos, there's like 8 different points in which I'd be like, yeah, if that was me doing it, I'd probably like snap that graphics card in half when I try and stick it in the case. We ain't doing that shit, bros. It ain't happening. Also, when I went to hard off, there were a ton of used gaming PCs just sitting there. Some of them were pretty fucking cheap. I took a photo, I'll let you see it in Discord. I made my friend build my first one for me. I have no friends. And definitely nobody who can build PCs. For some reason my entire life I haven't had any real access to anybody who like cares about video games, for one thing. So not even like consoles. Laptops actually work well nowadays compared to then. I mean, I have a gaming laptop right now. It gets super hot when I use it to play video games, though. So it makes me feel like I'm, like, killing it. Like, I'll play Brotato. I was playing Brotato this morning. I have recently been playing a lot of Brotato, and I could like feel the heat just like coming off of the just the arrow keys, and I was like, shit, that ain't good. And I even have like the frame rate limited to like 30 frames per second, and it still gets super hot. And when I check the temperatures after playing Brotato for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes with all the enemies on screen, like the CPU was like 90 and the GPU was like 85. And I've heard different reports by people in chat whether like this is too hot or it's like graded that way and it's fine, but I try and limit the frame rate for all the games I play just to, you know, make it a little bit easier on my poor laptop, but it's not making me feel like I should play many video games on it, that's for sure. Is the Discord ever going to be open to freeloaders? Do I have to pay you to draw Futa-cock just to get in? No, you don't. See, the entire reason the Discord exists is because I don't want all these people who want to pay me to draw Futa-cock to have access to it unless they pay me, because it exists for commissions. So yeah, Also, there's no real moderators right now. Now that Hystrixia is gone. I guess we do have mods, but it's so dead. So yeah, I'm not opening the Discord to freeloaders. I have like 400,000 Twitter followers, dude. It's like asking for so much extra work on the mods if they can just walk in and start like posting child porn. What happened to Hystrixia? She did IRL shit. Think about it this way. She's a female. When a woman wants to start doing IRL stuff, she can immediately start doing it. She's not like chud incel men. Women can exit the chud incel lifestyle as soon as they want to. They're not cursed to be in this existence the way you guys are. She touched too much grass. I still can't believe Hystrixia volunteered to be a drone operator in Gaza. Hey, somebody's got to do the work. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do the bombing runs on civilian refugee camps. How much for a fully realistic drawing of a veiny futa cock? I mean, that's something that you can get AI to do for you very successfully. Actually, I'm not sure. I've complained about this many times, and this still seems to be the case. I don't know if it's just an artistic intent or just like the limitations of AI, but I always see futa cock with balls. I never see futa cock without balls. Look at those swole, menacing toddlers. This is why we have to use drone strikes. If we had troops on the ground, the toddlers would be too dangerous. Clit goes from a normal size 1 to rapid expansion. Common clitoris issue. As soon as females get sexually aroused, their clit becomes a 7-foot long massive penis. That's just how the female body works, guys. It's magical, isn't it? The truth is, men don't really need to exist when we just have women with giant futa cocks to satisfy other women. Men need to exist as slave race? Yes. Men only need to exist so they can be humiliated by massive Amazonian women with huge futa cocks. I understand how this works. It's been documented many times. Somebody needs to do the work while the futa lords are enjoying their bodies. Women don't pay for dinner. Yes. As men, it is our job to work and keep society afloat while we allow our women to have sex with other futa women, I guess. Thank God I only get futa requests as commissions every once in a while, and it's not like non-stop. I swear to God, the sanity of these people. Futa lovers draw their own futa. That's not true. I've been asked to draw futa commissions. It's just not as frequent as I was afraid they would be. They're still somewhat infrequent. It could be worse, is all I'm saying. So much worse. Nothing wrong with a little chick dick. Usually that so-called chick dick is like, I don't know, 3 feet long. So there's actually a lot of things wrong with it. It would be enough to cause serious organ damage to a real human being if you took that size of futa cock inside you. Futas are not chicks. I think they are. They usually have vagina underneath their large engorged testicles, so... Alright guys, now that we're starting to talk about futa penises, I think it's time for me to end the stream and do IRL stuff. See you around, boys. Ugh! I guess it would be disappointing and anticlimactic if a woman grew a dick and it ended up being a chode. Yes, then it's just a slightly different form of clitoris. Good night, guys. Have a nice night, boys.